What's good? It's your boy Jay with the J Academy. Welcome to another episode. Today we'll be going over atherosclerosis. So, atherosclerosis is when there's a buildup of gunk in your arteries and it creates a blockage. Right, so now we're gonna go more deep into it. So, first, we're gonna need to know the three layers of the arteries. So the artery has three layers, and the outermost layer is called the tunica externa. And what that's made of is just connective tissue. Now the middle layer is called the tunica media, and that's made of smooth muscles. And the innermost layer is called the tunica intima, and that's the layer that the blood actually touches, and that's lined with endothelial cells. And so here is a healthy vessel, and on the vessel, there's actually endothelial cells, and what they do is that they keep the vessel real nice and slick so that things don't adhere to it. What they also do is that they release factors that prevent clotting or thrombogenesis. A thrombus is a blood clot, and genesis means to create, so it doesn't want to create blood clots. Now, for the first thing for atherosclerosis to occur is that the endothelium has to get damaged. So how can it get damaged? Well, it can get damaged by an excessive amount of lipids in the arteries. And so if you don't have a good diet and you have a lot of lipids in your arteries, that can actually damage the endothelium. Another thing is toxins, such as toxins from smoking. Another thing is hypertension or high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, that can also damage the endothelium. Another thing is inflammation. So if you have an inflammatory disease such as lupus, that can also damage the vessel. Now when your endothelium is damaged, it's not slick anymore and things can really bind to it. And also, it doesn't release those factors anymore to prevent blood clotting, so you can get clots, right? And so since it's not as slick, the fats in your blood vessels will actually start adhering to the walls because it's been damaged. And what that can accumulate is a fatty deposit, also known as a fatty streak. So your body really doesn't like that streak being there, so it sends macrophages or white blood cells to go and eat them up. And so these white blood cells, especially monocytes, which are a type of white blood cell, and they'll go in and they'll try and eat them up. And so then they gobble them up and they get so engorged and they just eat so much fat that they become fat and they can't move out of there, and they just kind of chill and hang out there because they can't move. So then here we can see that the white blood cells have been engorged and fat and they just stay there now. Now, someone a long time ago, they looked under a microscope. They're like, bro, this stuff looks like foam. So then now, those macrophages that ate a bunch of fat, those are called foam cells. Right. And so this is highly thrombogenic. So this can really cause blood to clot, right? So your body doesn't like that. So what it does is that it has the smooth muscle cells from the tunica media come up into the tunica intima, and it comes up into the, right here, and it creates a fibrous cap, right? So this just seals that off so it can't create blood clots. What can actually happen is that that fibrous cap actually breaks open. Right, and if that breaks open, then there's all this stuff that can create a blood clot, and then the blood clots, and then it creates an occlusion or a blockage of the vessel. Now, a blockage of a vessel can be very, very bad, especially if it's in the brain. That's called a stroke, right? And so anywhere that there's a blockage of a vessel, then blood can't get there. If blood can't get there, oxygen can't get there. And if oxygen can't get there, then the cells that don't have oxygen start dying off. And so if you have a blockage in your brain, that can cause your brain cells to die off. That's called a stroke. If you have a clot or a blockage in your coronary arteries, which supply the heart with blood, then you can have a heart attack. That's not good. That's called a myocardial infarction. And then if you have a heart attack, then your cells of the heart start dying, and then they aren't able to pump as much blood, right? So then you can actually get heart failure. And that's not good either. And from all that, you can also get angina, which is chest pain associated with heart problems. So that's not good. All right. So that's it for the overview of atherosclerosis. For more information, just read on up on that study guide. As always, it's your boy Jay, signing out.